been able to pop off so consistently, even being able to beat Viper in a 2-0 already, the guy that replaced him on EDG. So definitely going to be looking forward to seeing this.
Not making Jackie Love kind of look like a chump in some ways. I'm just saying. Yeah. Like, I mean, this guy has been on one this split, and it's incredible to see develop as we do get into the first picks and bans. I will point out, back just a little side note for the jungle matchup. Very differing jungle pools for both these junglers. So I really want to see what we get here into this first matchup as we do OMG on the blue side. Do ban away the Talia, Lucian, and Ahri. JDG on the red side will ban away the Akali, the Gwen, waiting on that last ban, Dagda.
Yeah, I think nice bans coming through from OMG. We see the Talia banned a lot against JDG, 63% ban rate against them, the most banned. It's just such a good champion at the moment, and Yagao quite proficient on it as well, alongside the Ahri, just giving the Yagao these opportunities to roam it, like work with Kanavi as well. So getting these champions off the board already, but that does mean that the Viego is going to be locked in pretty much straight off the board for Aki, and I imagine we'll see a Lee Sin answer here for Kanavi alongside an AD carry.
All right, I don't get my fun Aki jungles. I don't get the Vi. I don't get the Trundle. I don't get the Zed. All right, fine. I'll just settle for the Viego. We'll see what JDG are going to pick up here. I feel like they have a lot that they can choose from. I think there's still a lot of very powerful picks on the table, even with the meta that we've seen. We have seen a prevalence of ADCs picked early, and they'll go ahead and grab that Ezreal.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised to see the Ezreal. I would have preferred the Kalista, but one of the things you got to be worried about with Abel is like how good he is on these short-range AD carries, right? Like a big fan of the Samira, looks great in the Kai'Sa as well. So I think the Kai'Sa more than likely going to be the lock-in here to answer back against the Ezreal. And I think that's where you're going to start to see a little bit of problems here for Hope on the bot side. Kai'Sa just such a good pick into the Ezreal, and also sets up really nicely if OMG want to try and go back towards that team fight style that we were talking about in the desk.
And especially trying to find that comfort in the simplicity. Again, trying to make sure there's that. Kanavi, though, is terrifying on the Lee Sin. I will not discount him on that one. We'll have to see how that works out earlier on, as double pickup in the duo lane here as Kai'Sa and Nautilus picked up by OMG.
Yeah, I mean, this is generally what we see paired with the Kai'Sa, just because that point-and-click CC for the Ezreal is just fantastic. And the ability to lock him down on the follow-up with that dredge line is so difficult for the Ezreal to deal with. Does mean you end up with the Braum answer, because Braum can kind of block a lot of that follow-up. But you always have to be careful, because Kai'Sa can just slip straight by with the killer instinct. And also then you've got the opportunity to dive the backline if OMG want to go for this full dive with like Aki on the Viego. You could look towards something like the Nara on the top side if you want to as well. Cream has always been particularly good on these more dive oriented picks as well, which is why we're seeing like the Silas taken off the board. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like LeBlanc ban as well.
Exactly, and trying to keep some of that mobility in the mid lane. I would love to see it. I just want to see activity, right? I still think, and I'll get on my soapbox every time. I got to go to LCS over the weekend, and I will just say, watching the LPL tackle this meta is heckin' fun. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, it's been a blast. This Braum, that very, very secure lock, and the LeBlanc actually does get banned away by OMG.
Yeah, I still think we're gonna see something like pick the first rotation here for 369, something like the Gangplank or something along these lines, and then keep that counter pick for Yagao. Because honestly, Cream has been the major focal point for OMG, even over the last few splits. Cream has just been such a standout mid laner, a standout performer for OMG. So keeping that counter pick for Yagao so he can be comfortable is probably going to be the most important thing here.
Exactly that. I do appreciate the heavy priority on some of these solo laners, though. The Akali, the Gwen, the Kennen actually also banned away from 369 as he has piloted that champion to some terrifying results there. But we do still have some very important picks on the table. Our solo lanes are still available. We'll have that final pick, the counter pick for JDG, but here they're just waiting to see what they can pick up to kind of set up one of these lanes, and that will be telling on where they kind of want to play to, Dagda.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we actually see the mid lane lock-in. I mean, the Azir can fit well, a lot of range, a lot of poke, especially against what OMG have is a relatively short-range composition, but it does mean you can go towards something like the Quirky here for Cream, where you just have to answer that kind of like slow mid-game lull where you can power up on your Quirky. And then Shanji as well. I'm actually curious to see what his plan is. we've seen him bring out the Kale a couple of times, and there is always that combo that we saw a little while ago where like Kale ults the Kai'Sa and Kai'Sa just sends herself flying in towards the backline if you want to try and go for something like that. But honestly, I think something like the Gangplank could actually work out really well here. Just try to like get space, find engages, or even something like a Gnar, maybe something along those lines. So like you just need something that can help with follow-up engage.
Okay, well, we'll see if they actually do get that. The Corgi locked in, I do find a bit interesting for Cream. See how that works out against the Azir itself. The Gangplank locked in for Shanji, throwing the gauntlet down a little bit against 369. We got to see what he did the last time he got the Gangplank with that Penta last week. It was a little bit terrifying. So what is the answer here for 369 as he does have the counter pick up on deck?
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the Aatrox pick here. I just think something that can be a bruiser frontline is perfect. Like, you already have a lot of damage. You have a lot of ways for you to kind of like absorb the pressure from OMG, and having the range means you don't necessarily have to have big engage tools on towards OMG's lineup. So actually going to go towards the Vladimir here. So still kind of having that opportunity to like buy space and buy room for this backline to fight back against OMG is going to be perfect for JDG. And now it means there's a lot of pressure on OMG to find these good engages, particularly on cold, to set those up so they can actually find moments to fight back against JDG.
Yeah, and I mean, you're looking at the carry potential here, a lot of scaling aspects for OMG, right? But I do feel like you have a lot of response to that on the side of JDG, but I do feel like it's going to come down to that early pathing of both junglers. I know we put a big focus on that earlier on, but now after the draft, I feel like that's even more so important because the Viego versus Lee Sin can lean to a lot of things, and especially early on, like first couple objectives, especially their first Rift Herald. I want to see how that kind of works itself out and how much of that headbutting we actually get in this one.
Yeah, I imagine that we'll see JDG trying to maneuver around the map quite a lot. Like, they do like these early objectives quite significantly. So I think they will look towards Rift Herald. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, in the mid lane, they should have decent push. Top side, Gangplank should have an all right time shoving in this Vladimir. He just has more wave clear with the barrows. And the bot side as well, Kai'Sa should be able to have that push thanks to the Akathian Rain. So finding moments to actually move around the map early is going to be a bit of an issue for JDG. But honestly, I think once they get to the mid game, JDG should be perfectly fine, right? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Nautilus as a solo engage tool, especially against a team as slippery as JDG, because, I mean, every single person has some form of mobility or some way of denying the depth charge. And that's where I find that Nautilus can be a little bit lacking, which is why I think the Gangplank can work out to a certain extent in like helping to slow people so you can try and close the gap. But again, there's just so much mobility on JDG's side.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got a level 1. Missing has the flash. Missing is down. They've already gotten a kill for OG Abel, but it's a cluster afterwards. We already got a trade back. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of OMG. Shanji up and above right now. That is huge start for OMG.
Yeah, two kills, 2-1 for OMG, and crucially the kills going over towards the Kai'Sa as well, and also this Gangplank giving both these lanes a little bit more control. And you can just see here, right, early ward goes down from Aki, and they're just ready for this. So Missing, completely caught unaware, just ends up getting focused down, flash in as well. And Aki, the fact that he steals the Braum, gets the Q onto Yagao as well, means that they get to proc the concussive blows onto Yagao before Aki falls.
That's a lot of summoner spells burn. I see 2 flashes, a heal on the side of JDG. They're going to want those back for sure. As OMG have struck first. The ward was integral. They JDG thought, with the Braum, we got the level 1, right? No. It's OMG's time to shine in that one. But that does throw a wrench into the works of like the early game plan that we were talking about. Things are going to be a little bit reeling for JDG at this point. Shanji knows he can play with some reckless abandon up here.
Yeah, especially now that he's got the boots as well, has the ability to continuously like move in, as you can see, get these parlays off.
That's so
going to help him out a little bit. And in the bot side as well, the cold start for the Kai'Sa is going to give her such a big boon in this lane. It's why it's a bit of a disaster when you end up falling behind like this for JDG. But as we said, right, late game, they should be in a pretty good spot. Vladimir are going to be monstrous. These ears should be great as well. And I think, again, just the fact that you have so little engage tools on OMG is going to make this game a little bit easier for JDG.
It is indeed. Especially, that's the thing is, like, if JDG are playing the way that they have all split long, this is no big deal. Like, they will come back into this. It'll be fine. They'll right the ship, right? And they have found a way to pull out games even if things go a little chaotic.
You say that. I mean, LGD took a game
all right,
off
they
them,
got one game.
Exactly
Come on. They got one
hey,
game.
you know. Hey, they were one game away from beating them. That's all I'm saying, you know? The match checks
You're right.
out, so.
Results-based analysis. That's what we do here. It is all about it. Aki is pathing up towards the top side. Oh, barrel. Little cheeky barrel there from Sanji. 369 is in some trouble, though. He doesn't have flash. He pops the ghost to try to get some movement speed, realizing the mist is here, so Aki must be around. That ghost is going to get him to safety. Will be another summoner spell burned.
Yeah, nicely done. You can see there, because you're in the mist, Aki was ramping up with the stun, and you wouldn't be able to avoid it as 369, because by the time you see that stun hit, it's already too late by the time it comes out. But, oh, they just going to catch him?
He's going to go all the way back. Okay. We'll just be a little bit here. Oh my god, no way. No way. 369 dies to this. Aki and Shanji are masterminds with an evil plan.
And because you've no teleport, because he went for the Ghost Ignite, he's going to lose so much on this top side. Look at 7 CS to the 18, 19, 20 of Shanji. And he's actually, it's actually dirty as well. He's going to let it go out as a slow push as well. So Shanji will be able to freeze that wave. You can have Aki try and refocus on that top side of the map as well. This is a disaster for 369.
Great start for OMG, trying to put the brakes on the JDG train. Do not want to let them go 4-0. And also OMG want to pick up their first series win here as we kick off week number 3. And we'll see a little bit of that XP differential coming to fruition maybe, as mid lane Cream does have a little bit of advantage over Yagao. But again, we've gotten to a point where we've seen early blood for OMG. We've seen them kind of control the map. It's exactly what we wanted to see. But again, the big focus here for OMG is the mid game. And we're not even close to there yet, but we got to keep that in mind that things get a little mixed up there, as we said at the A block.
And that's the thing, I actually don't mind OMG's early game. I think Aki has been incredibly strong for the team. I love how aggressive he is in the early stages and being able to find these plays. But as you say, it's like, okay, well, how do we actually try and set up around objectives? How do we try and play at the map state? And that's where JDG's one of their biggest strengths lies. So we're a little bit curious to see if OMG can keep this ball rolling now against JDG.
Got to keep the ball going. 369 actually has a very big wave of their pushing into the tower against Shanji. We'll see Kanavi maybe getting his first taste of blood on the Rift, but won't be able to find anything to back off for the bot lane of OMG. Nice time, I would say, as they had a little bit of intuition there. Kanavi might be looking for this early dragon, though. As we said, JDG do like to set up their early objective.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to be able to snag this one off the reset. So at least JDG kind of playing towards what has been not only just the composition, or sorry, not the composition, the team strength over the last couple of splits has been these objectives. But we've even seen as well, like for JDG, if you're looking for team fights, if you're looking for ways to try and find poke around neutrals, the best way to do it is by having these big dragon leads, like forcing OMG in towards these fights. And that's exactly what JDG wants. If they can keep vision control around neutrals, just poke away at OMG, it becomes a lot easier to take these fights.
I will say, besides this top lane, everything's pretty evened out for JDG, but that top lane is a sore spot, I will say. And Aki wants to continue to make it more sore, as he will just perpetually be up towards this top side. He already took the Raptors there from Kanavi. Now he's working on the Krugs, but 369 is in some serious trouble here.
It's level 4 to level 6. They can just dive. I mean, you can even use the Gangplank go to it to get the pool out from 369. That's why you can see him desperately trying to heal up underneath this tower.
No.
Code is on the way, as is missing.
Come on, OMG, just let 369 be there. He'll be fine. It's fine. Oh, no. Kanavi's going to walk right in. Okay, he will just get the ward over the wall there. Nicely done. OMG don't want to commit or anything. Missing is right there on the side. Will not be spotted out on his transition up here to the top side. 369 has to use the pull, as the barrel was about to do so much damage. Missing just kind of walks through, just says hello, ships in the night.
You still get the plate, though, on that top side. So nicely done, at least for OMG. You're not really losing out on anything else around the map, right? You still got push and bot side. Abel, totally happy to go in the 1v1 against this Ezreal. And Cream has been left alone, getting pushing mid as Yagao had to reset. So overall, it's still a win for OMG.
It is indeed, and I think, you know, as OMG come into this one, they had started out very strong. They find themselves at 2,000 gold lead about 7.5 minutes in, but you got to keep pushing that forward. You got to keep going. I know you got the scaling aspects here with the gangplank, with the cream Corki here coming in, so they got to keep the ship straight on its path, as we will see both bot laners get back towards what is important to them, which is this bottom lane, and we'll get a little bit of a lull here as 369 finally hit level 6. Woo!
Oh my god. Oh, it's heartbreaking. He's so far behind. But that's the thing, right? Like, this is why I was surprised to see JDG not pick up the gangplank on that that first rotation that they had after this second ban phase, because there's very little counter picks towards the gangplank. Like, he does pretty well almost across the board. You can even see here, like, because that early gank, 369 is now really struggling, and this is where you could have had a bit of an easier time in that top side, and Shanji would have had to been the one that picked out some sort of weird pick, but unfortunately now your top side completely gone for JDG. I just don't see how you can try and contest Rift Herald, but they're going to do it anyway.
Yes,
and I think OMG should just go fight them.
Hey, it's the early objectives, man. It's a candied apple in the eye of JDG. Is actually OMG get bluffed, I guess. They're not even going to contest it, and that'll be the Rift Herald and the first dragon going to JDG.
Yeah, Abel and Coles instead just deciding that they wanted to go for the turret plates on bot side, but honestly, I think the Rift Herald a little bit more valuable. As we said, like, you've already got this nice lead for OMG. Try and just run through it with those advantages. Like, this Vladimir would do nothing in team fights compared to Shanji, but instead, they end up backing away and kind of giving a little bit more breathing room to JDG.
They do. That is a scary prospect, right? There is a reason why they're 3-0. There's a reason why we lauded them so much. Like, how long will the streak continue? How strong can this team be? Because they have been dominant, even in series that do go the distance, which have gone a lot of the time. It still is JDG who comes out on top, and that's something to say in the durability patch, because they themselves are a little bit durable. You like what I did there, Dagger?
Nice. I like it, yeah. 10 out of 10. Would chuck hill again.
Oh my god, that was great. Cold is chuckling here as he gets the engage. Aki right around the corner. Won't be able to do anything. This bot lane, we've seen jungler pass. It's just a bunch of window shopping down here, though. Nobody can get in.
Yeah, Hope absolutely destroyed Abel's health bar there. Kind of goes, well, if you want to fight, there's a chance we're going to get the pick onto the Kai'Sa, so maybe you want to back the hell up. Now, Yagao getting good damage onto Cream in the mid lane. I mean, JDG at the moment, like, despite how the top side are going, are still fighting back relatively well. I just think the biggest problem is, like, Shanji essentially getting a free lane. You got the Cole about to pop from Abel, which is going to give him his Kraken Slayer here as well. Like, you're just going to have so much gold coming in quickly to OMG. You have to be so careful as they do find these engages. There's going to be a lot of damage behind that.
Yeah, and there's been a very interesting state of game so far for this one where, you know, it is a later game patch. It feels like we're not getting as many risks taken. But OMG were taking risks early on. And then we've hit this moment where both teams are kind of just playing the game. Cold is still taking risks. He's the wild one of the group. But it's still leaning towards these objectives, leaning towards these big timers on the map, which now we see pings coming down, another dragon on the rift, and a lot of bodies coming to the center here for JDG as well.
Yeah, you get the TP back in from Yagao to make sure that he's able to push, but this is only Cloud Dragon. JDG don't really have to fight this, but also JDG do like fighting, so maybe
they
we get
do
that
like
regardless.
fighting. 369 doesn't like to fight. He's saying, no, please, 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 back away. The Hemo Plague is not going to save him. Actually, it does for a little bit, but the Cannon Barrage, it's not enough. 369 survives, and that is actually gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, just about able to survive, but really just didn't need to take the fight. Even though he does get at the cannon barrage, like, JDG weren't trying to take a fight on the bottom side. Like, there's no reason to be pushed up that far. Getting hit by the barrels as well means that now there's another wave that's about to be lost to his tower because he has to run his way back to top lane. Again, no teleport, so Shanji just getting more and more of an advantage in this top lane.
Yeah, 30 CS up is over 369. We do have a Rift Herald that needs to come out pretty quickly here from Kanavi. Wonder where they're going to try to utilize that. I would expect anywhere but top lane, Dagda, as it does look like Kanavi wants to try his luck mid.
I think your best bet is to give it towards, I was going to say Yagao, so then at least if you can get this mid lane turret down, maybe you can start to lean towards 369, give him a little bit of breathing room. The other option, of course, was like if you wanted to try and get Hope to those Mega Buck stage where he's just incredibly strong off the 2 items. But I think at this stage, trying to get your late game carry in Yagao as far ahead as possible is going to be your best call, just because with 369 lagging behind, maybe having a bit of damage here as well, he's not going to be able to help out.
Oh my god, Shanji is
dead.
just doing so much. Yeah, 369 has nothing to get out of this. He's burned everything, and Shanji comes out on top again.
Shanji is destroying 369. This Vladimir counter pick not working out at all for them. And just a nice job from OMG to try and like set that up early, right? We had Aki helping Shanji in those early stages, and now it is paying dividends for the OMG top lane.
You're gonna get more plates on top of it as well. It is just really nice as a Shanji right now for OMG. We'll see how it all pans out though, as they still do need to continue to press that advantage, finding themselves still at that 3,000 gold play there. We'll get the replay as well as 369, yeah, walked into the bush, just wanted the ward, ended up costing his life.
Yeah, and you can see now you've got a major problem for JDG, because even though you could try and go for the 5v5s as OMG, you now just have a split push option. You can just literally leave Shanji in the side lane. He's going to beat 369 for the foreseeable future. And now you've got a way of like actually forcing your fights away from neutrals that can either set up for OMG to like win out in the 4v3 because JDG have had to commit members to dealing with Shanji, or you can actually just have Shanji use the cannon barrage and play that little bit of an extra helping hand in these fights, but still keeping pressure inside. So JDG need to find ways of shutting down Shanji, but I just don't see how they can.
The build is disgusting as well. Like 369, I feel like just has no hope at this point. Speaking of no hope, this is some trouble for Yagao, and he is dead himself. This is an incredible start for OMG to kick off our best of 3.
And this is why, like, I'm a little bit hesitant when people are trying to start the conversation of JDG is the best team in the LPL, because we see games like this where it just really doesn't work out. Oh, God.
Oh, I missed the Void Seeker. Oh, that feels bad, but it will be. Oh! No way! The killer instinct to go through the True Shot Barrage to get the outplay. Abel, you're nuts!
That was insane! Abel styling on JDG's bot lane. JDG lose Ganko, lose Hope, lose their mid lane tower. They're losing the Rift tower. They're losing this bloody game, Mizzell.
I gotta get a replay of that. I need to see that again. Hope has been lauded. He has been popping off, and Abel just put him in the dirt. And that's gonna be Rift Herald for OMG as well. This game is turning up, and it's all white and black.
Phantom Dancer there picked up for Abel as well. With the Kraken Slayer, he is so incredibly strong. It's only 15 minutes into the game and he's already got 2 fully complete items, and we'll see it here in the replay. Go absolutely breaking ankles here. So I like this from Hope, right? He goes, I can get this really good damage up, but because he'd already taken one tower shot, the ramp up damage is insane. Killer Instinct in, and watch here. Heal and flash. Flashes over the True Shot Barrage. Has the heal there to keep himself topped up, and it's only just a shame he didn't get missing as well.
That's actually insane. The cooldown usage from Abel, the fact that he was able to go in twice with the Killer Instinct, then flashing over the True Shot Barrage. What a play for the OMG bot later. But we got to calm down a little bit, all right? That was insane. That'll probably be in top playlist a little bit later on.
Don't you tell me how to live my life. I'm going to be hyped if I want to be hyped.
That was actually insane. I need to calm myself down. I'm going to be yelling all night, and people are going to get real tired of me real fast. But we did have a crazy start for OMG here. It is 16 minutes in. We're getting to that mid game. We got to see where OMG, if they do falter, if they can kind of take this to JDG in the fashion that usually JDG is doing to other teams.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, with the position they're in, they should be in a good spot, right? You've your Gangplank just about to complete his Mortal Reminder.
Oh.
You've got the oh, hang on.
He's got the Hemo Plague utilized. Oh my god, 369? This is not good for Abel. He's got a decent amount of damage, but he just gets taken out by 369. That'll be level 11 for the Vladimir, while the Dragon goes down to OMG.
I want just as we're praising OMG, it starts to go a bit topsy-turvy. This mid-game hits it again, like Abel overextends the bot lane. That was a bit of a shutdown goal going over towards 369 as well, so much needed help for this limping Vladimir. And OMG, just these are the small mistakes that can cost you.
playing a little hypey now, Dagny. He's playing a little hypey. He flashed the ulti. He's like, I got everything now. Oh, no. Hope, though. Both ADCs are just getting 1v1'd here. Shanji's playing with his food at this point. Oh, no, the package, and he gives it to Cream because that's delivery service.
Yeah, good guy Shanji helping at the mid laner says, you know what? It's not fair that you don't have a kill. Come on, son. We'll get you that ice cream that you want. And now Cream picking up one for himself. You do have to worry about this mid lane, though, as a lot of members of JDG are around, but Code there to help means that Cream will be able to get this top lane on not needing any sort of attention.
Bounties up for JDG here. We'll get a replay of that top lane. Hope just bites off a little bit more than he can chew.
Yeah, and just great barrel placement there from Shanji, right? Like, able to have both barrels that he could use to detonate the one that hits Hope. And even here, like, Shanji could have flashed in to kill Hope, but instead opts to give the kill across the Cream. It's a nice guy, Shanji, helping stuff out. And now, as you can see, Cream sitting there in the top side, he's going to be in a pretty good spot. You got Shanji, who's an absolute monster, and I don't think there's very many people who can deal with him at all in that side lane with the Mortal Reminder now complete. And Code is going as well!
The killer instinct, and there you go! Hope is obliterated again. Cold gets the kill, and now Yagao just goes and gives his life. He's like, I guess I gotta go down with the ship. Aye, aye, Captain.
We salute you, Yagao, but that play sucked. That was not the spot that you wanted to be in, and we're still going, Mazel.
What is going on here? JDG are just getting the hat pulled over their eyes. The Rift Herald comes down, and mid-tier 2 is now in trouble.
Screw the mid-tier 2. This could be an inhibitor turret in trouble as well, but looks like instead they are just going to let that charge move up to meet the Corki on the top side because Dream is already pushing in there. This is so much better from OMG. This is what I wanted to see from the mid-game from OMG when they can get off these early starts. They are controlling this game so well. Isn't there a 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes?
This is amazing, and I'm just saying, example right here why LPL does it best. I mean, it's 19 and a half minutes in, and I've been having a blast here. It has been absolute chaos, but all in favor of OMG, which is incredible because coming into the day, it was all about the underdog story. OMG didn't find a series win yet this split, and JDG were looking so confident, but it has been a snowball and all in favor of OMG.
And there's your demonstration of why Kai'Sa is such a good pick into the Ezreal, right? The Nautilus is able to get that lockup. You get the Kai'Sa with the killer instinct to finish him off. Heal and everything tried to be burned by Hope, but can't do very much about it. Now, OMG, minute and a bit until this next dragon. They're getting control over the area. They're going to start getting deep vision down in JDG's bot side. Like, OMG, we talked about how good they can be if they can find these engages. You can...
They're looking for it, but Cold goes right back in for the engage. Now you got to deal with a front-to-back fight. Cannon Barrage comes down as well, and Missing is just dead. The reset comes out for Aki. Here comes True Shot Barrage on the back. 369 got the flank. The Emperor's Divide doesn't do much, and Yagao is just taken out. The resets are coming back a plenty, and OMG haven't even lost a single member here. They almost wiped the floor with JDG, but they take out 3 members to boot.
Yeah, that could have been great for 369 if he had any damage in the tank. He's just no threat on the backline right now, and OMG, they're smelling the Baron with 3 members of JDG dead.
This is confidence. This is pit boss level stuff, even if Set is not here. It is all about the Baron right now for OMG. Kanavi, can he make a miracle steal? Can Hope do anything? Nope, Cold goes over. Killer Instinct comes out. Abel's trying to take on 2v1 here, but the Baron will end up falling, and OMG secure it.
And that was all that they wanted, to get JDG away from the pit. And now, OMG, this mid-game has been spectacular. Reset, 30 seconds till Dragon. They've got the Baron buff. There's nothing JDG can do, and I don't know why you can test this. Like we just said, OMG are going to be looking to establish vision control on the bot side, and JDG just throw bodies into the play when they just don't have any sort of defense to mount here. You got Shanji, who's already in the bot side as well, so he doesn't have to try and TP in. Abel is massive, able to play so well on the backside. He even still has the killer instinct as well. Like, there was never a hope that you were going to be able to take that fight, JDG.
I saw what you did there. I like it. Even Hope himself missing the True Shot Barrage because of the wall there from Aki having stolen missing, which I think is actually crazy. Dragon does end up going down to OMG as well. True Shot Barrage way too late to try and steal anything. That'll be sole point for OMG. Now They have Baron up for another 2 minutes. They pretty much have their pick of the litter of what they could possibly want to do. Look at that gold on the side of your screen there. That is insane, and a major reason why we're at a 12K deficit right now for JDG.
Yeah, and now OMG on the bot side, they pushed in mid. They're all going to group onto this turret. You can see Cream trying to get some good poke down, but not really having too much map pressure means that JDG is in a good spot to protect this bot lane turret. You're waiting on 369's wave on the top side to crash before you fully commit here as OMG.
And what's crazy to me is so much chaos has happened. We haven't progressed that far in items, right? We're at 3 items now for Shanji. He has the Hole Breaker now, and he's all by himself in a 1v3. Yagao can't get the Emperor's Divide. The Shuriba Shuffle goes a little bit wide there. Kanavi has the kick back, but can't get the angle here. There he goes. He gets the kick back, but Shanji is tanking up a storm. Hope has died in the base. JDG are losing everything here. They get one, but what did it cost? Everything.
Yeah, I mean, their inhibitor in mid is down. You've got the wave nicely prepped here on the bottom side as well, so they can go and get bot tier 2 if they want to. JDG realize that they're just going to lose out across the map if they don't do something, so at least they stop the pressure from Shanji in the top lane, but it will still cost them so much in their base.
It will, and they will lose more as another outer tower goes down. It'll be a tier 2 in the bot lane. They will not continue it as 35 seconds remain just about on the Baron here. It's a 3,600 Baron power play itself. Now we get to see what happened to poor Hope in the mid lane.
This is why I'm surprised nobody has learned from MSI that just you can't blind pick Ezreal with Kai'Sa's open. Like, this combo you can see there, it's just too easy to operate. Point and click CC with the Kai'Sa follow-up means you just one-shot the Ezreal, and unfortunately Hope kind of learned the hard way that that's how this matchup goes. So OMG now, just in a great spot.
I will say that that's the second time we've seen Abel use the Killer Instinct. It might be the third time. Use the Killer Instinct, try to use the Void Seeker afterwards, and can't find it. It goes the other way after he uses the Killer Instinct. We'll have to keep an eye on the Kai'Sa mechanics for Abel for sure, but he has been tearing it up besides that, especially those Killer Instincts right when JDG are on the back foot, and OMG find themselves in such a dominant game. I mean, it's just a matter of time at this point.
Yeah, and you can see right now OMG trying to corral the minion line and mid in to hit the turret at the same time as top, but they haven't quite got the timing down, so JDG being able to dance between top and mid to clear out these waves, but OMG looking to find the play.
It's a while till another objective comes on the table. True Shot Barrage comes out, but it's 2 minutes for both objectives to come up. We have an Ocean Soul on the row for OMG or the Baron available, which with the Baron, it would be a sure and clean closeout. It is kind of interesting, you know, how respectively OMG are playing, even with this gigantic gold lead, like 14,000 at this point. But they realize there's always a chance for JDG. They can find picks if they, or if you know, are caught sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be so hard, right? Like, you look at the items across the board for OMG, and then you're looking across at JDG, right? Like, even the build from Yagao, right? The Leandries and the Demonic Embrace. This is much more of like a poke build, where it's like, okay, cool, I can get some burn damage down, but I think it was Veigar V2 actually did the math on it, and it's just like, this build actually doesn't do a huge amount more, when you actually have the double burn damage. You're much better off kind of going for the all-in potential that you can get with the with some of the other builds where you're actually able to get good damage down. Like going for a Void Staff second rather will probably give you a lot more damage in this scenario, and especially since right now, like, poke isn't going to win you this game. You need some sort of all-in potential. Like, I think that would have been the better option for Yagao.
Definitely would have been more interesting, at least, as it is right now. OMG buying their time, waiting on these objectives to come up. They're positioning around this bottom lane. They're keeping vision down here. They're pushing, or pinging rather, down towards this bottom side. Look for picks while they wait for the Dragon Soul to come up, and that Ocean Soul would guarantee a lot of things and potentially another nail in the coffin for JDG.
Now JDG will start to push, but as you say, right, like, at least they are getting control in mid, but you got to be so careful of these barrels from Shanji, of the poke from Cream. At least being able to control the vision means maybe they can separate out OMG.
Colt goes in for the engage. That cannon barrage is getting so much worth. Look, Cream on the back with the package. Emperor's Divide from Yagao, but again, there's just not enough damage. There's nothing that JDG can do, and they've lost everybody. That's a clean and total ace. A quadra kill for Abel, and the end of game number 1 for JDG.
All right, Cream. Look, that was a really nice package, but you didn't need to steal the Penta. I could see that Penta from a mile away, and they end up taking it right out from underneath the Kaiser's nose. Will be the game end for OMG, and JDG just got destroyed.
They absolutely did. 19-3, 17,000 gold lead for OMG. They wiped the floor with JDG in a series that we thought was going to be very one-sided. It was going to be a quick first best of 3 here for JDG, and right now they are on the ropes. They just got a haymaker to the face.
And that's the problem that we've seen with JDG, right? Like, they have not looked